Welcome back to the channel. My name is Steven. I'm a pharmacist. I own 53 units of real estate and I help coach people to buy their first multifamily deal. So today I want to talk about home insurance, specifically landlord insurance. And since I've been stabilizing my portfolio, because I haven't been buying as much, I haven't been focusing on renovating my apartments, things are more stable. I've really been looking at ways to save money on my portfolio. And these expenses may sound small, but it starts to add up. Like for my first multifamily deal, I was paying $30,000 a year for replacement cost insurance, and I converted it over to a actual cash value, so it's not as robust. But it went from $30,000 a year to $9,000. So I saved $21,000. And if you divide that, it's almost like $1,500 a month in money that I saved, right? And then because I thought to myself, okay, if my apartment burns down to the ground, do I want to deal with an architect? Do I want to deal with new construction? The answer is no. I want my money. I'll pay off the loan, and whatever money I have left over, I'll go reinvest it somewhere else, and I'll clean up the land and sell the land to a developer, right? That would be my strategy. So once I kind of did that, I did that for my my multifamily, right? And another thing that I've been doing too is because I have good reserves now, I'm a more seasoned investor. I've increased my deductibles to 10,000. So I believe my 26 unit, my deductible is 5,000. My 20 unit, my deductible is 10,000. And I converted a lot of my single family homes over to $10,000 deductibles in an effort to save money. So what I recently did was I got quotes from Steadily. And basically I just clicked on the link, a referral link that I got, and then I'll drop you guys a referral link as well. But I clicked on this referral link, and it's really easy. They just ask you to punch in your address, your email address, your phone number, and then you put in your property's rental address. And sometimes once you hit submit, they'll immediately give you a quote. And then what's nice about the quote is you can tweak things, right? You could tweak your deductible. So you can see what it looks like at a $1,000 deductible, a $2,500 deductible, 5,000, 10,000, and you can see if that price difference is worth it for you. For me, I personally do $10,000 deductible because I carry large cash reserves, because I'm a more seasoned investor. And then I kind of own properties in, obviously if I own a property in a hurricane area, I'd probably look for maybe 5,000 at most. But because of me, I'm in Oklahoma, yes, there's tornadoes. I'm in Alabama, yes, there's tornadoes. California, there's fires, but I think it's relatively lower risk and I can afford it. So to me, I'm doing $10,000 deductible. And then from there, that's just one thing that you could tweak, right? And then another thing you can tweak is the rents that you get. So for example, if one of my single family homes burned down, and I'm repairing it and trying to replace it, basically you still get your rental income, right? So let's say I'm getting $2,000 a month. I can still get $2,000 a month, even though the property's burned down, or if I need to cover costs to relocate my tenant, that's included, right? So I'll typically do that. So I do the bare minimum, but you could do zero. For liability, so this is liability on premises, there's different options, right? The max is $500,000. I typically drop it down one level to 300,000. And then for the medical payments, like I said, there's a max and there's a min, and you just can play around with it, right? So and one thing that I tweak too for the Steadily policy is they have something called private structure or separate structures. But a lot of the time, so a separate structure is, let's say I have a single family home and I have a shed or an ADU. That's a separate structure. But most of my properties don't have separate structures. So make sure that's nothing or zero, right? To save you money. And then there's water backup, which is a pretty big one. So, you could try different quotes. So you could do zero water backup. So in case the water backs up, you're not covered. Or you could pay, $250, you can pay $500, you can pay $1,000. For me, I have the mentality of not wanting to use my insurance unless it's a total loss. But for things that I can fix, like I said, I'm so well capitalized that I can afford to do that. So basically, I put in I think 5 of my rental properties into Steadily, the address. And like I said, a lot of times they'll give you a quote instantly. But what's nice too is sometimes they don't give you a quote instantly, or sometimes they do. But regardless, usually somebody will reach out to you via email, or they'll give you a call or send you a text. And what's nice is they'll give you a quote via email, and then you can ask to tweak things hey, can I see a quote at a $5,000 deductible versus a $10,000 versus a $2,500? can I see the quote if I make these tweaks, right? So then that you can kind of see your cost options. And then from there, what's nice is like they give you multiple discounts. So like if you have multiple properties, they give you a discount for having multiple properties. Like me, I have 4, I think, policies with them now, so I get a multi-policy discount. If you have a property manager, they give you a property management discount, because usually property managers have insurance themselves as extra safety precaution. I think I have like a paperless, so if you do paperless, they give you a slight discount. If you I forgot. There's like literally a section at the bottom that says that these are all the discounts that they apply. So basically, you got to ask. Like I bought one of my properties cash, like my 53rd unit. I'm buying it cash, so I'm getting a discount on that because I'm paying cash. And from there, basically once you bind your quote, it's like super easy. You just tell them, hey, I want to move forward with this quote, and then basically they'll usually send you an email with the final policy. You'll review it to make sure it's the right name, so it's an LLC, whatever the information is, and then they're going to ask you, okay, like, are you going to pay in full right now? If you pay in full right now, it's 5% discount. You can pay in installments, so you could do like a monthly payment, or you could pay through escrow. So typically that's going to be 5% more. So I've just been paying in full because I say 5% with that. And then basically from there, basically you can log into your online portal and then see all your policies. So it's like super easy. So what's nice about this is like I converted 4 of my policies, and on average I saved about $500. So I was able to save $2,000 by putting in a quote to Steadily. And then now what's nice is they kind of know how like my policies and what discounts I qualify for. So like now when I just let's say I'm doing the new construction BRRRR, right? And literally I'm closing in like 2 weeks, and I'm hoping to do a cash out refinance, pull out all my money and go buy another new construction and then get another quote from Steadily. And they know exactly what my thing is, and you can go online and see what it is. So I thought that was like pretty user friendly, and it kind of blew my mind because like, for me, a lot of my properties, like when I first bought it, I was a homeowner. It was a primary residence policy because I was house hacking, right? So obviously that's the cheapest. But then once I, moved it out and convert it to a rental, that same company like raised the price on me because it's a rental property. And then once I moved it from my personal name to an LLC, they would charge me like an additional $300-$400 a year just for having an LLC. So I was just like, that's not very friendly. But, with Steadily, the quotes they give you, they're catered towards landlords, right? Where it's like 1 to 4 units specifically. I did submit a quote for my 20 unit and 26 unit. And what they do is they outsource you to like another broker, and they may or may not give you a quote. So it's worth a shot. But I think they specialize in 1 to 4 units is their sweet spot. And maybe, one day they might do that. But hey, like to me, it's like, why not give it a shot, right? Like, if I could save $2,000 by limiting my insurance, and basically you divide that by 12, that's almost increasing my cash flow by $150 a month, right? So like that's it's small, but it adds up. So it's really nice. Like you just put in your address and they'll tell you, hey, like we can quote you this and this, and they can do like, I had them do like 5 policies at the same time, and then you can make those tweaks with them. So it felt like it was pretty easy and seamless. So like, for me, if you watch my channel, I always say, you want to get like multiple quotes. Don't always assume that your insurer is giving you the best rate. So you always got to like get other quotes. So, I think like Steadily is definitely worth a shot. And like you said, it saved me like $2,000. And, between like converting just by reducing all my insurance policies between my 2 apartments. So my 20 unit, I saved $2,000. My 26 unit, I saved $21,000, and then I saved $2,000 on my single family home portfolio. So basically that's almost like $25K. Divide that by 12. That increased my cash flow by like $2,000 a month, which is pretty significant. So, that's why like really excited, for the partnership with Steadily, because like I'm like I was blown when I just like submitted it, and I was just like, wow, like they actually beat it. And then like you can tweak like even for like the coverage, like like my coverage came back for my new build at like 400, and I was just like, well, I don't think it need 400 on this. And so like I had them lower it, and then they're able to lower it and tweak the policy, and it felt very easy and seamless. And then it's funny, like on two of my other policies that I already had steadily, I wanted to make some tweaks. I was like, oh wait, I didn't realize that these were not at a $10,000 deductible. They still had water backup included. So basically I had them, hey, like, can you quote me on these changes, right? I just copy and paste it for each policy, and then basically said, hey, if you make this change, you save $300. You make this change, you save $300, and I just accepted it. And then basically they just adjusted my premium. They're gonna mail me back a refund check or give me a refund back onto my credit card. So it's like super easy. If you change your mind later, it's perfectly okay. Like if you're a newer investor, you can get higher, lower deductibles of $1,000, $2,500. But as you become more seasoned, as you own more real estate, as your reserves build up, you can then transition over to like $5,000 or $10,000 deductibles. That's what I did, right? So like it's different phases. Anyways, like it's, for me, like I said, now that haven't been buying, it's been nice to like reassess my insurance to basically, lower it. And then, like I said, like for me, I was focused on like $10,000, $20,000 issues. I didn't have time to focus on like $1,000 issues, which is my insurance. So now that I have no more $10,000 decisions to worry about, I'm now optimizing my insurance and now creating a system so that, like, there was like, I think 3 single family homes where they couldn't beat my current policy. But then, every year when you're due for renewal, I'm going to submit a quote to Steadily to see, hey, can you beat it? So, because sometimes, you can compare, contrast, and then like if your current policy is better, great. You have the reassurance that yours is better. But if not, maybe Steadily can beat it. And then you can save some money. And like, who doesn't want to save money, right? Especially, given all the fears of the recession. So you really want to be tight. You really want to like watch your money, watch your income, and watch your expenses, right? So that's what's really key. And what I've been really doing in my insurance, like I said, just by me spending time focusing on my insurance between all my units, I saved about $25,000 a year, which is $2,000 a month. So that gives me $2,000 more dollars in my pocket every single month. So like for me, I was overpaying on insurance, honestly, but now I'm like really cognizant in which policy I pick to meet my needs in case it burns down, to meet the lender's need in case it burns down, but not overspending and getting too robust of a policy, which is what I had before, right, for all my properties. So anyways, we'll drop the link down in the comments down below. Also, I'll pin it in a comment. But if you want one-on-one coaching, you want mentorship, click on my link tree down below. Otherwise, let me know what questions you have. You can send me an email. It's in my link tree as well. Otherwise, hope to see you in the next one. Thank you so much.